Hello, welcome back. As always, I thank you for taking the time out of your busy day, your busy evening. I mean, whatever time it is, wherever you are on this weird and really weird wobbling, spinning ball of rock to join us here today. Yeah, thank you. It's very important to do exactly as you're doing, to set aside some time however much of this you end up watching, which may well be the entire thing, right? I mean, if it is, if it isn't, you're here for a reason. You're here because there will be a message from the Holy Spirit for you, perhaps many. And when it comes to today's question and topic of discussion, maybe a lot of messages. I don't know. Stick around. You'll see. Amidst all of the other stuff out there on YouTube and the rest of the internet, you're here. You have been directed for a reason, so welcome. You don't have to be a student of A Course in Miracles at all. If you are, you don't have to be an advanced student. You can be a beginner or anywhere in between. It doesn't matter. Now, you'll know from your own experience in life, not just your spiritual practice and your spiritual path, whatever traditions have been involved in that, whatever that has looked like, not just that, but every single thing. It is when we believe that we're an expert or advanced that we most need the basics. Huh. It's true. You know it's true. That's when we most need to hear the most basic and simple ideas yet again, even if it's for the 15,000th time, because we don't actually know. I mean, really, we don't know when that proverbial light bulb is going to come on, and maybe it's going to come on for you today. You'll boom, get it, and that is worth every single listen, isn't it? Every single passage that you read, every discourse that you hear. It is. So I'm frequently asked, what does ACIM say about geopolitics? Oh, now here's a question we can really dig into. What does it say about politics? Well, nothing. How about that? Yeah. A thought system that is teaching us that there is no separation of any kind will not, and we cannot possibly expect it to take a stand on something as ego-driven as politics. If you were expecting the course to be partial toward one side or another, it is not, cannot be, and will never be because it's teaching us the exact opposite. There is no separation of any kind. Therefore, the idea of separate factions, of separate political parties, indeed of separate individuals, is illusion. It's not true. It appears to be true here in the world, sure. We look like we're dealing with it. Well, let's talk about how to skillfully and effectively deal with it that leads us not further down the rabbit hole, spinning in intense suffering, but toward the light, hmm? That leads us away from illusion to truth. Let's talk about what we do, shall we? Yes. Bit of backdrop. When I was a university student long ago, and we're talking decades, yeah, way back in the 1990s, I studied anthropology as an undergraduate student, and there is a definition of politics that has stuck with me. It's the study of power. It's anything having to do with the idea of power. That's politics. So let's ask the question, what's power? What is it? I mean, certain people appear to have it. Governments appear to have it. Certain people within governments appear to have it in a situation that's hierarchical and top down. A boss or a supervisor appears to have it, but what is it anyway? What does it look like in and of itself? Not the exercise of it, but what is it? What is it? No, it's quite formless, isn't it? It can be exercised in different ways, given what we call form in that way. But in and of itself, it is an idea. It's just an idea. It's something we made up. Individuality is an idea. It's something we made up. The world itself is an idea. Yes, it's something we made up. Yes, mind is that powerful. So when you study this material that insists as its central teaching over and over again, there is no world. Yeah, central teaching. So, with that as the central teaching, you're not going to get any partiality on anything at all because there is no partiality in truth. It's all perfect oneness. We're perfectly at home in God where we've always been. So, what appears to be our home, this wobbling, spinning ball of chaos over here, is, well, not our real home. And here's the beautiful thing. You know that is true. You do. I insist you do. You're interested in spirituality, so you know there's more to it than all this stuff. So, all this being said, the Course doesn't take a political stance. We're not invited to support one candidate over another instead of another or a certain political party or a movement or regime or whatever you want, right? And consider the history of what we call Homo sapiens sapiens. We made that up, made this up. Hmm. Consider that history. There's never been a time where there hasn't been political strife. We think we're individuals, therefore we think everybody else thinks that they're individuals, and lo and behold, we go forth and we do battle with each other. There are power struggles left and right. And yes, these political times are very challenging, very trying for many, but there's never been a time in what we call human history where it has been 100% peaceful all over wobbling, spinning ball of rock. There's always been some war zone. So whether you currently inhabit one of those or you don't, there's never been a time where there hasn't been this struggle. When we think we're individuals, struggle results. When we see beyond that and choose to allow ourselves to be led by our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit, to look beyond the appearance of differences to the core, to the heart of the matter, to the truth, the essence of what really is, we see our perfect oneness. look beyond all of this. And the practice, the central practice of true forgiveness as it's taught in A Course in Miracles, and as we're therefore invited to practice it, is looking beyond these apparent differences to the heart of the matter, to the truth, to the essence, the core, to what is in truth. Perfect oneness. Your brother is you. He's not your second cousin or your third cousin. He is you. There's no separation of any kind. How could he or she or they be otherwise? And these ideas sound incredibly simple. They are. They're very simple. Consider all of the complications that we add to them, to obscure them, and to look away from truth toward all of our suffering and chaos. People have often asked me, well, how can you remain so calm in these vastly trying times? Well, a bit of context for all of you, because this is an international community. I live in the United States. Let's say no more than that, right? There isn't anything else that needs to be said. It's world news. It is always world news. What happens here, politically and socially, impacts the entire planet, but that's true of any place, right? I mean, what's a nation state? It's an idea. It's a bunch of lines that dudes hundreds of years ago drew on this thing called a map to delineate and distinguish and define and defend personal territory, rather like dogs, let's be honest. This is who we are. That's you. Separation. Now, don't try to get our territory or our precious resources. We're going to try to get yours instead. I know. Yeah. We've seen this play out, not just modernly, but throughout what we call human history. So, how can anyone remain calm and forgiving? Well, forgiveness gives us the ability to do just that. The more you open to the message of the Holy Spirit, as Jesus brings it to us and instructs us here with this course, yeah, the more you open to that, the easier it is to forgive, forgive, forgive. And the more you do that, the less you see all of these chaotic differences. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of times here as a resident citizen, in fact, of the United States, where I look at my social media feed and I'm rather, well, perplexed. Anyone can relate to that wherever you live. People's views, people's actions, people's denial. Yeah. But when you really take the lessons of this course to heart, it's really not that difficult to forgive, forgive, forgive. And if you've developed the practice of this, if in fact you have developed the habit, mind training, habit of forgiveness, true forgiveness of anything that's displeasing or stresses you out, anything that's not wholly and completely joyous, when you've established this habit, it becomes much easier to do. You'll be much more aware of the opportunities to do so, and you'll take them more and more, increasingly. If it doesn't seem probable right now, keep doing it. Prove it to yourself that these ideas work. That's how we learn. We do this. You learn this course by doing it. Sure, understanding all of this stuff with the intellectual, rational, so-called rational thinking mind, it has some value, of course. Of course it does. Yeah, It's nothing compared to the actual doing of it. So we do it. It's a self-study curriculum. That's part of the genius of this course. It's not a religion. And this image that you see on your screen that appears to be speaking is nothing. It's a collection of electronic dots, wholly and completely without its own self-importance. It's nothing, nothing special. When something connects, it's the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit uses all kinds of things and all kinds of people to relate to us, to speak to us. That's exactly what is happening now. That is exactly what is happening in every single one of these videos. That's why I often refer to this as a pixelated image on your screen. That's what it is. That's what we're looking at. Nothing. So when we learn, as we're instructed to do in all spirituality, not just this course, to relax and trust the guidance of our teacher, in this course, our inner teacher, the Holy Spirit. When we learn to relax and trust, we learn to relax and trust, and we become more aware of the opportunities to forgive. And little by little, gradually maybe, you begin to notice that you don't see things the same way. It's easier to forgive people like Donald Trump. Here's something that we learn here in A Course in Miracles that makes a lot of sense. We're either, all of us, I'm referring to every single one of us, is either expressing love or we're issuing a call for love. When someone behaves badly, or when someone in our assessment behaves dementedly, cruelly and viciously, right? When they take the microphone just because they can and spout nonsense. For example, what is that but a call for love, a cry for help? Help. Big and loud cry for help, is it not? Yes, it is. What is the appropriate response to a brother's cry for help? Help. To give that. When a brother calls for love, what is the appropriate response? Give love. He doesn't have to know I'm doing it, and he never will. And it doesn't make any difference because I'm also doing it for people that I happen to agree with politically. There's no difference. None. There is no separation of any kind. Literally, period. Simple, simple idea. One that we're, of course, prone to resist. And in fact, that's the way that this operates. It's the ego that resists. All resistance is of the ego. And it's the simple ideas that point directly to truth that we most resist because we think, oh, it can't be that easy. Did you see what they said today? Did you see what they're planning today? Did you see what they're rolling out today? Oh, did you see how this other leader on the other side of the wobbling, spinning ball of rock reacted today? OMG. All opportunities to forgive. We're either extending love or we're issuing a call for love. The appropriate response to a brother's call for love is to give it. And again, very important point. No one has to know that you're doing it. They will know something is up when you become way more chill and loving over time, and they'll be more drawn to you and maybe not have any idea why. Have you experienced that? Well, should you choose to stick around and do this work, you will. It's only a matter of time. That's what time is for. How much time? I don't know. It's what time is for. So use it for the Holy Spirit's purposes. That's how one navigates any difficult situation, job difficulties, financial difficulties, political difficulties, a fascist regime. Oh, and yeah, you can look up the definition of fascist regime in the dictionary. Yeah, United States 2025. Yeah, there are plenty of other examples in the world. So, yeah, look it up, right? So you can navigate that. And if you happen to live someplace more peaceful, which at this time is, well, a lot of places, there's still the turmoil and conflict going on in our mind. There's still something that will come up for you to forgive. You will have forgiveness opportunities because something will make you angry or sad. In fact, any anything at all that's less than completely 100% joyous is an opportunity for us to forgive. So, because there's no world, there's no Donald Trump. There's no Reverend Tomas Garza either. Remember this pixelated image on your screen? That? What's that? Oh, nobody. Hmm. There is no individuality of any kind. So, what are we? Well, we're the Son of God, the creation of God, the extension, the thought of God. Thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker, ideas leave not their source, capital S. We're perfectly at home in God, where we have always been, never left. Ideas leave not their source. A very often quoted idea from A Course in Miracles. And that really sums it all up. Thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. Where are you? You know, you've always known why you've never left. So, what does that make this whole extravaganza a dream? That's why people refer to enlightenment as awakening. Perfectly appropriate term, isn't it? So, you navigate a difficult political situation the same way you navigate any difficult situation with the practice of true forgiveness. Now, let's say this. If you are instructed by our inner teacher, if you are called or you feel that you must get away from a potentially very harmful situation, no one is saying you have to stick around and be beaten or disappeared. That's not what we're saying. In fact, quite the opposite. Because people need you. They need you to show up looking something like this, assembled in a constellation of dots or cells or whatever, looking like an actual human being, like they think they are, and relating to them in a form that they won't freak out about. People need you. You should take care of yourself. If your physical safety is in danger, address that immediately, whatever that may involve. Why? There are people out there that will hear this message better from you than from anyone else. Better from you than from me. For sure. Of course that would be true. You're going to work with them when the both of you are ready. They will hear this message best from you, whatever form that may take. So stick around while we all appear to be here. Let's use this device for communicating the love of the Holy Spirit. Again, that's exactly what's going on right here. So we appear to live what look like normal lives. But let me tell you something. Once you do this enough, you'll never look at what we deem to be our normal lives the same way ever again. It is simply not possible. And that is a very, very good thing. Okay, so, well, we've said a lot. And when is that not the case? It's so interesting, isn't it, how much we expound on very, very simple ideas, but we repeat them over and over again. So, in that vein, several videos appear here on this channel every week, and that's the subscription prompt in the corner of your screen, this little arrow thing over here. Click that, join us. We'd be happy to have you. And it's an international community, so I'm happy to take questions from everyone. Now, if you have them, please feel welcome to leave them here in the comment thread on YouTube. I will see them because I check them several times weekly. Okay? So I thank you for tuning in and for your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice. It's the highest, best, most beneficial form of offering you could give anyone, anywhere, anytime. Hands down. No close second at all, as you well know. Okay? So I thank you for that, and I will talk to you soon.